Hi everyone. In this video, I will be walking you through how to create headings or headers according to APA 7th edition. My recommendation is that you pull up a Word document, hopefully the one that you created your title page on, and you follow along and create a template for your headings that you can use for your paper. All right, so there are 5 levels of headings according to APA, and they're listed here with examples of how they're done. And this may be helpful for you to keep, to print out and have kind of with you. I will say that for the purposes of your paper in this class and most, if not all of the papers you'll do during your time at the Mount, you won't go beyond a 3rd level, which is the flush left bold italic, the 3rd one here. But in case you wanted to know, I've provided you with the 4th and the 5th. So let's start. The first one is a level 1 heading, which is actually the title of your paper. So you're going to begin your paper with a paper title at the top of the first page after your title page. Okay. This acts as a de facto level 1 heading. So it's centered and bold in title case font. You would not use the heading of introduction. You would just write your title. So as you can see in the example here at the bottom, the title of this student's paper was Sleep Paralysis, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, and Treatments. And it is centered in bold and title case, okay? And then you would press return, tab, and start writing. So there's no need to do another heading that says introduction. That's just really not necessary, okay? All right. Next, a level 2 heading. So level 2 headings can be used for any headings within the introduction, with level 3 headings being subsections of those level 2 headings. Okay, now that may sound confusing already, but I have an example for you. So the level 2 heading is going to be flush left, okay, and it's going to be bold and title case. So it's exactly like the level 1 heading, except instead of being centered, it's flush left, meaning all the way to the left. So the first level 2 heading that this student used was treatment options, as you can see there. You then press return, tab, and start writing. Now, within this treatment options heading, the student then wanted to break it down into specific types of treatment. So they have a subheading within that section 2 of treatment options, okay? So that subheading, which in this case is imagery rehearsal therapy, is bold, italicized, left justified, and titled case, okay? So what's different here is imagery rehearsal therapy is a type of treatment options. So that's why it's not its own separate level 2 heading, it's embedded within the treatment options heading. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? Now, in your paper, you may also then want to have a new section. So maybe outside of the introduction, you're going to have another section. So this student, for example, had a section called Cultural Considerations in the Treatment of PTSD. And since this is different from the introduction, they are then going to use a new level 1 heading. Remember that your first level 1 heading is the one that is for your title. Okay, so if we go back to here, that's your level 1 heading. But now that you're no longer in the introduction, you can use a new level 1 heading like this student did for the cultural considerations in the treatment of PTSD. And the structure is the same, centered, bold, title case, okay? This is also what you would do for your references. Your references are a level 1 heading. Your reference title, the word references, as I discussed in the last lecture, is a level 1 heading, so centered, bold, title case, okay? Right. Now, how many headings should you use? The number is really going to depend on the paper's length and complexity. A very complex paper and a very lengthy paper will use multiple levels, maybe even up to 5. But a more simple paper might just have a title, and that's your only heading, a level 1. And for the purposes of this class, as I mentioned before, the most you're going to be using is a level 3, okay? Another thing to keep in mind here is that you do not label your headings with numbers or letters. So I have an example here. You wouldn't do A period space results as your heading. That A period space is just not necessary at all. It's not really APA format approved. So you would get rid of that and just do results. And results would likely be a level 1 heading, meaning it is in the middle, bold, and in title case. And some subheadings below that might be analysis, procedure, participants, or something like that. But that's a little beyond what you would need in this class. Okay, so that's it. Those are headings. Pretty simple, especially if you use that first page that had the 5 levels. This is also something that you can get feedback on when you submit your first draft of your paper, or if you're really struggling with it, you can of course always ask, or you can go and get a review of your paper at PARC. Okay, so let me know if you've got questions. I'm glad we had a short APA one this week. All right, thanks for listening.